Let's be real. Product management can be really hard, especially when you're just getting started. And I'm here to tell you that after 13 years of figuring it out, with many mistakes along the way, I've had some time to look back and reflect on what it is that I would do differently in my career if I had to start all over again. And in no way am I saying that I will take back the mistakes that I've made. I've learned so much from each and every one of them. But I'm hoping that there will be something on this list that will help you move the needle. So get comfortable, pour yourself a beverage, and let's go over the things I wish I did and you might consider implementing when I first started out. Number one lesson. I wish I had used our Kanban board as a single source of truth from the very beginning. And here is what I mean. Initially, we treated our board as storage of our to-do list. There were random cards all over the place, even though the work had already been completed. No one actually paid too much attention to it, let alone use it as a tool that brings visibility and transparency into our process. As a result, we spent a tremendous amount of time in status report meetings trying to figure out what was going on with our products. As you can imagine, the more we grew, the harder it became to stay on top of the work. Here is the thing. The sole purpose of your Kanban board is to provide an overview of the status of your work at any given time. Take advantage of it. All the work the team is doing should be visualized on the Kanban board. The work items need to be in their actual states. If you have to suspend the work, the cards should be marked as blocked. The urgent items need to have their own class of service so the team knows how to handle them on their own. Everyone should be aligned around the understanding that the board is a powerful communication mechanism and should be perceived as the single source of truth. Your decisions affect your predictability, so make sure they are as informed as possible. The second thing I wish I would have done, or in this case, not done, is say yes to every single customer request. And you're probably thinking, but Sonia, you have to be able to handle all business requests. That's your job. No, it's not. Neither is yours. Let me tell you something I wish someone had told me back in the day. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else at the same time. So be aware of these choices. When a new request arrives, you need to analyze whether your team is capable of handling new work at this moment. If you don't perform that evaluation and start a new request immediately, what you're essentially doing is suspending another work item in progress. You borrow time and you generate flow debt. This approach could go tremendously wrong if the work item you're suspending has a higher priority than the one you just started. Now, I'm telling you this because early on, I said yes to absolutely everything, and my teams and I only became that much more stressed and overwhelmed. Eventually, we burnt out. And it took me a certain number of years of going down this road to realize that this is not going to be the path to long-lasting success. And if you're a people pleaser or a recovering people pleaser, just like me, or you're someone who doesn't like to get into confrontations and difficult conversations, I want to encourage you to take a stand. Instead of trying to do all the things all at once, really, just say yes, but later. If you need someone to give you permission to stop saying yes, I'm happy to be that person. You can stop now. Lastly, lesson number 3 may not come as a surprise to you. I may be biased, but I stand behind it 100%. I would have started optimizing our workflow for predictability at the moment I finished gathering my team. That's all I would have needed to make reliable delivery commitments. Not only would it take just a couple of minutes to come up with accurate forecasts, but also I would have enabled my team to really focus on their actual work. And back in the day, we were struggling to deliver on our promises. We were counting hours and story points to be able to come up with accurate results. Despite all our efforts, we were always late. We were over-promising and under-delivering. What we really needed was a data-driven approach to making decisions, and I had to lift the pressure from my teams to preserve the well-being of all of us. And adopting the explicit process policies and management practices to optimize our system for predictability was a game changer. One of the biggest mistakes I'm seeing all over again is that managers expand their teams without a solid foundation for their systems. If you don't have a stable delivery system in place, the more you grow, the more difficult it will become to hit your targets.